Hi, I'm Hotsy Malone with Vagabond Souls. This week's episode is going to explain to you how we came up with our brand logo and our theme music. So we'll start with the brand logo. We knew we wanted to get something to put on the back of the camper because there's this perfect inset in the back. Also to utilize for all our social media platforms and to possibly put on t-shirts at some point. So we talked about things that like art that interested us, and old-timey circus posters is something that I have a passion for and love the artwork on, just like old-time 50s tattoos and like World War II tattoos. So we knew we wanted to do something like that with like that tattoo flavor and old-timey circus poster flavor. So we were talking one night and I said to Tim, if you were in a circus, what would you be? And he said, I'd be a trapeze artist. And I was like, me too. Or I would want to be like the bareback rider or train chimpanzees. So anyway, we knew we wanted to get this kind of circus theme, very vintage look. And so I put out on Facebook a little notice to friends saying, hey, I'm looking for a tattoo artist who also does illustration. Does anybody know of anyone? And I got a lot of response back, but an old friend of mine from LA told me about this man, Josh Schneider, who was a tattoo artist in LA. And so I reached out to him, told him what we were doing, and he was super excited and interested to be a part of it. So I explained to him kind of the vision that I had. I sent him some pictures that I just found on Google of old vintage trapeze artists in the circus. And so away he went and started designing this whole brand logo. We would talk back and forth and tweak things. And finally it got to the point where he had completed what he could do freehand. And so he turned it all over to me for me to find someone who could then put it on the computer and then computer colorize it. So then entered my old friend Georgiana Daly, who I found as a graduate student from the Art Institute and hired her to design my logo for a online shop that I had, clothing shop called October Moon Boutique. Again, I gave her a little idea of what I wanted and she ran with it, and it was beautiful and very unique. So Georgiana then took over the computer art colorization and graphic optimization and design. Whew, that's a big mouthful. So she did that. Josh Schneider did all the original handwork. Josh also works, to go back to him, at Marginalized Tattoo in Los Angeles. So I'm hoping one day to actually get to LA and have him put his original artwork on me somewhere as the tattoo for our brand. Anyway, so that's how we came about with the art. I've already got someone who is going to do the decal for the back of the camper, and Georgiana right now is designing banners that will go on each side. So we will have those decals put on the camper eventually. So now to the music. I Googled one day, Vagabond Souls, and up popped a few things, but up popped this song, Vagabond Soul, singular. So I clicked on it, listened to it, and within the first couple choruses, I was like, oh my God, this is our song. It talked about being on the road. It talked about being up on stage and in front of people and traveling and every night a different town, and that this person that the song was referring to was a vagabond soul. So I looked, and it was by a little band called the Bayonets. Brian Ray and Oliver Lieber are the writers of the song, and they were in the Bayonets. This is the Bayonets CD that we got the song from. It's called Crash Boom Bang, and you can get it on all your streaming, your favorite streaming arenas, and I got this one on Amazon, but I may have got like the last one, so I'm not sure. Anyway, so I I contacted Brian Ray via the email address that was listed on the Bayonets website. And I told him, you know, my husband and I are retiring. We're going to jump in our 35-foot camper with our dogs and take off. And I heard your song, and it's the perfect theme song for our YouTube channel that we want to launch. And it could be our intro and the outro. And would you let us use it? So I waited, and no response. So, like, there's the doggies. So I then did some research on Brian Ray, and up popped this whole story about Phil Kaufman, who is a friend of mine. Phil Kaufman is like the road manager. The road manager deluxe, as he likes to put it on his book. This man has had the most crazy career as a road manager. He's worked with Emmylou Harris, and he's had an acting career, and he's worked with Graham Parsons. Actually, he is the man responsible for stealing Graham Parsons' body and taking it to Joshua Tree and setting it on fire as Graham's last wishes were. He is the one that did that for Graham, and he's got this fabulous book that you can also get this on Amazon and stuff. But anyway, if you want to read about a remarkably interesting person who's worked with everyone out there, the Stones, I mean everybody, pick up his book. Anyway, so I contacted Phil and said, hey, do you know this guy, Brian Ray? I'm trying to reach him. And he said, yeah. And I said, would you mind emailing him and telling him I'm not like some psycho, that I'm legit. I've worked in the music business, and would he mind reaching out to me about this song that I'd like to use? So Phil got back to me and said, I contacted him. He's going to get a hold of you. And I was so excited. So crickets. Week goes by, crickets, nothing. I'm like, crumb. So I do a little bit more research on Brian Ray. Well, come to find out, Brian Ray is the guitar player for Paul McCartney. So that might explain why I didn't hear from him like pronto, like I had expected. But I thought, hang on a second, I know someone that works with Paul McCartney, an old friend of mine, Sid Price. I wasn't sure what he did, but I knew he worked with Paul McCartney. So I contacted him in England and said, hey, Sid, trying to reach this guy in McCartney's band. What do you do with the band? And he goes, oh, I'm the lead guitarist, guitar tech. And I was like, Brian Ray? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So again, I said, would you contact Brian and say, you've known me for years, I'm okay, I'm legit. And so he said yes. Well, another week or so goes by, and I get the sweetest email from Brian Ray saying, so sorry I haven't gotten in touch with you sooner. Because our tour canceled, I am now trying to put together podcasts, and it's a lot more work than what I thought it was going to be. So anyway, he reached out and he said, of course you can use the song. And he said, would you just, like list it, the credits as like this? And he said, Vagabond Soul featuring Steven Tyler. Oh, I forgot about that part. Yeah, Steven Tyler sings backup on it. Hello. And it was produced by Brian Ray and Oliver Lieber. Oliver Lieber is a very famous writer as well. His father was a famous writer. So it was written and produced by both of them. So anyway, that's the story of how we got to use this fabulous song that you hear in the very beginning and the end. And one day we'll actually play the whole song because it's a cool song. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this story. And as usual, we need you to like the video, subscribe, share with your friends, and help us to get our numbers up because we're just starting out. But anyway, I hope you'll see us next week, and thanks for watching. Bye.
There's no end of the road as the years come in.